My name is Sarah, and for 3 years I lived on ramen noodles and secondhand clothes. Every dollar I earned went into a special savings account labeled Sarah's Dream Wedding. While my friends spent weekends shopping and going to expensive restaurants, I picked up extra shifts at the diner where I worked. I had a vision, a beautiful garden ceremony with white roses, twinkling lights, and my fiancé Jake waiting for me at the altar. "You're crazy for saving this much," my sister Emma would tease whenever she visited my tiny apartment. "It's just one day." But it wasn't just one day to me. It was the beginning of my new life with Jake, and I wanted it to be perfect. We'd been together for 5 years, and he deserved a celebration that matched how much I loved him. Every time I looked at my savings account balance climbing toward $15,000, my heart would flutter with excitement. My mother, Linda, seemed supportive of my wedding plans, though she often made comments about how simple her own wedding had been. "We just went to the courthouse," she'd remind me. "Your father and I were perfectly happy with that. I respected their choice, but this was my choice." Jake and I had already booked our venue, a charming vineyard outside the city, and put down deposits with the photographer and caterer. The wedding was still 8 months away, but everything was falling into place beautifully. It was a Tuesday morning in March when my phone rang. I was getting ready for my shift at the diner, humming our wedding song while braiding my hair. Mom's name flashed on the screen, which was unusual since she rarely called before noon. "Sarah, honey, I need to talk to you." Her voice sounded shaky, almost breathless. "Mom? What's wrong? You sound upset." "I am upset, sweetheart. I just got back from the doctor and, well, the news isn't good." My hands froze on my hair tie. "What kind of news?" "They found something during my routine checkup, a mass. They want to do surgery right away, but—" Her voice cracked. "Insurance won't cover all of it. The specialist I need to see doesn't take our plan." My heart dropped into my stomach. "Mom, how much are we talking about?" $15,000. I know it's a lot, but this surgery could save my life. Your father and I have been up all night trying to figure out what to do. We looked into loans, but our credit isn't good. Enough after Dad's business troubles last year." I sank onto my bed, staring at my laptop where I had a wedding planning tab open. $15,000. The exact amount in my wedding fund. "Sarah? Are you there?" "I'm here, Mom. I'm just processing this. I hate to ask you this, I really do. But you're the only one in the family with that kind of money saved up. Emma and David are still paying off their house, and you know how tight things are for them." My mind raced. Emma and her husband David had just finished a major renovation on their home. They'd been posting pictures on social media of their beautiful new kitchen with granite countertops and custom cabinets. But if Mom needed surgery, of course, Mom, family comes first. When do you need the money? The relief in her voice was overwhelming. "Oh, sweetheart, thank you so much. The surgery is scheduled for next week. I promise we'll pay you back as soon as we can." After hanging up, I sat in my empty apartment and cried. Jake found me there 2 hours later when I didn't show up for our lunch date. "Baby, what happened?" He wrapped his arms around me as I explained the situation. "We'll postpone the wedding," I told him through my tears. "Maybe we can do something smaller next year." Jake held me tighter. "Hey, we'll figure this out. Your mom's health is what matters most. The wedding can wait." That afternoon, I transferred $15,000 from my wedding fund to my mother's account. 3 years of sacrifice, gone in one electronic transaction. The days following my transfer felt surreal. Mom kept thanking me during our phone calls, but something felt off. Her voice lacked the fear and worry I'd expect from someone facing major surgery. Instead, she sounded almost excited. "The doctor says the procedure will be minimally invasive," she told me on Thursday. "I should be back on my feet in just a few days." "That's great news, Mom. Which hospital will you be at? Jake and I want to visit after the surgery." There was a pause. "Oh, you don't need to do that. The doctor says visitors can interfere with healing. I'll call you when I'm ready for company." Friday came and went with no updates. Saturday morning, I decided to drive to my parents' house with a care package of Mom's favorite soup and magazines. If she was having surgery on Monday, she'd need comfort items for her recovery. When I pulled into their driveway, both of their Cars were there, which struck me as odd. If Mom was having surgery in 2 days, wouldn't they be running around preparing? I knocked on the front door, but no one answered. Their cars were definitely there, so I walked around to the backyard. Through the kitchen window, I could see Mom at the table, looking perfectly healthy and animated as she talked on the phone. "The granite looks amazing," I heard her say. "Emma is going to be so surprised when she sees how much bigger the island is." My blood turned to ice. I pressed closer to the window, straining to hear more. "I can't believe we pulled it off," Mom continued. "Sarah was so generous with the money. Emma's kitchen is going to be like something out of a magazine." The world seemed to tilt sideways. My knees felt weak as the truth crashed over me like a cold wave. There was no surgery. There was no mass. My mother had lied to me, manipulated me, to get money for Emma's kitchen renovation. I stumbled back to my car, my hands shaking so badly I could barely start the engine. The drive home was a blur of tears and rage. How could she do this? To me? How could she look me in the eye and lie about cancer to steal my wedding fund? I didn't sleep that night. I paced my apartment, my mind spinning between heartbreak and fury. By morning, I had made my decision. I wasn't going to let this slide. At 8 a.m. sharp, I called Mom. "Sarah, how are you, sweetie? I was just thinking about you." "Were you? Or were you thinking about Emma's new granite countertops?" Silence. "Mom, I know about the kitchen. I saw you yesterday through your window talking about how the renovation turned out. There is no surgery, is there?" More silence, then a shaky breath. "Sarah, I can explain." "Explain what?" "How you lied about having cancer to steal my wedding." "Money? How you manipulated my love for you to fund Emma's kitchen remodel." "It wasn't stealing. And I didn't say cancer, I said mass. It could have been anything. Don't you dare try to justify this with technicalities. You know exactly what you did. You made me think you were dying so I'd give you $15,000. Emma needed help with the renovation. They were in over their heads financially. And you had all that money just sitting there. That money was for my wedding. Money I saved for 3 years by eating nothing but pasta and working double shifts. Weddings are frivolous, Sarah. A kitchen renovation adds value to a home. It's an investment. I hung up on her. My hands were shaking with rage, but my mind was surprisingly clear. If Mom thought she could manipulate me and get away with it, she was about to learn otherwise. Over the next few days, I did some digging. I called Emma first, playing innocent. "Hey, Em, I heard you got some work done on the kitchen. Mom mentioned it looked amazing." "Oh my God, Sarah, you have to see it. The contractor just finished yesterday. Mom and Dad surprised us by paying for the upgrades we couldn't afford. We're having a family dinner this weekend to show it off." My stomach churned. That's so generous of them. Must have cost a fortune. Around $15,000 for the granite, new cabinets, and professional installation. Mom said they'd been saving for something special to spend on us kids. There it was. My wedding fund had been transformed into Emma's dream kitchen, and my sister didn't even know the money came from me. Next, I called Dad. "Hey, Pop, how's Mom feeling about her surgery this week?" "Surgery? What surgery? The one for the mass the doctors found?" Dad was quiet for a long moment. "Sarah, your mother hasn't been to a doctor in 6 months. What are you talking about?" She told me she needed $15,000 for surgery because insurance wouldn't cover it." Another long pause. "Oh, Sarah, oh no. What did your mother do?" Dad at least was innocent. The betrayal was purely Mom's, though that somehow made it worse. She had orchestrated this elaborate lie all on her own. Saturday arrived, the day of Emma's kitchen reveal dinner. Mom had texted me 3 times asking if I was coming, but I hadn't responded. I had something much better planned. At 6 p.m., I walked into my parents' house without knocking. The whole family was there. Mom, Dad, Emma, David, and their 2 kids. Everyone was gathered around the stunning new kitchen, oohing and aahing over the granite countertops and custom cabinets. "Sarah!" Emma rushed over to hug me. "Isn't it gorgeous? Mom and Dad are the best parents ever for surprising us like this." "It really is beautiful," I said, my voice steady. Must have taken a lot of planning to pull this off. Mom shot me a warning look from across the room, but I ignored her. Emma, I'm curious. When did Mom and Dad tell you they were paying for this renovation? Last Monday. It was such a shock. Mom called and said they wanted to help us finish the project properly instead of us trying to do it piece by piece. Last Monday. Interesting timing. I turned to address the whole room. Did you know that last Monday was also the day Mom called? Me asking for $15,000 for emergency surgery? The room went silent. Emma's face scrunched in confusion. Surgery? David asked. Linda, you didn't mention any surgery. Mom's face was turning red. Sarah, this isn't the time. Oh, I think this is the perfect time. You see, Mom told me she had a mass that needed to be removed, and insurance wouldn't cover the specialist. She said she needed exactly $15,000, and could I please help because I was the only one in the family with that kind of money saved. Emma's hand flew to her mouth. Oh my God. So I gave her my entire wedding fund. 3 years of savings gone in one day because I thought my mother might die without surgery? Sarah, Mom started, but I held up my hand. But here's the funny part. There was no surgery. There was no mass. There was no medical emergency at all. Mom just wanted to give Emma a fancy kitchen, and she decided my wedding money was the perfect way to pay for it. The silence in the room was deafening. Emma was staring at the granite countertops with horror, as if they'd suddenly turned into snakes. Is this true? Dad asked Mom, his voice barely above a whisper. Mom's shoulders sagged. I was going to pay her back. With what money? I demanded. You just spent $15,000 on a kitchen? When exactly were you planning to pay me back? Emma burst into tears. Sarah, I had no idea. I swear I didn't know where the money came from. If I had known, I know you didn't, Em. This was all Mom's idea. David put his arm around Emma. We'll pay you back, Sarah. I don't know how, but we will. No, I said firmly. You two didn't do anything wrong. This is between me and Mom. I turned to face my mother directly. You want to know the worst part? It's not even about the money anymore. It's about the fact that you looked me in the eye and lied about having cancer. You made me think I might lose you. Do you have any idea what that felt like? Tears were streaming down Mom's face now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I just thought... You thought what? That I was too stupid to find out? That I'd just hand over my life savings and never ask questions? The family dinner ended in disaster, with Emma and David leaving early and Dad sleeping in the guest room. But I wasn't done. Over the next week, I put my plan into motion. First, I documented everything. I saved all of Mom's text messages about the fake surgery. I recorded a phone call where she admitted to lying, legal in my state, with one-party consent. I gathered evidence of the timeline showing that Emma's renovation was paid for with my money. Then I got creative with my revenge. I created a family group chat and shared the whole story, including screenshots of Mom's lies. I wanted everyone to know exactly what kind of person Linda really was. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone got the full story. But the real revenge was more personal. I had always been the family photographer for major events. Birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, everyone relied on me to capture and share memories. I had thousands of family photos on my social media accounts, and I was always the one organizing family gatherings. I removed every single photo of Mom from my social media. Every family gathering photo was cropped or edited to exclude her. I changed my relationship status to remove her as my mother. When people asked why Linda wasn't in recent family photos, I told them exactly what she had done. The social consequences were swift and brutal. Our extended family was horrified by Mom's behavior. Her own sister called her crying, saying she couldn't believe Linda would lie about cancer to steal from her daughter. Mom's reputation in our tight-knit family circle was completely destroyed. Within 2 weeks, the story had spread through our entire community. Mom couldn't go to the grocery store without running into someone who'd heard about what she'd done. The shame was eating her alive, but I felt no sympathy. Emma tried to act as a peacemaker, but I made it clear that my relationship with Mom was over unless she made things right. And making things right meant more than just an apology. She needs to give you the money back, Emma said during one of our coffee dates. It's not about the money anymore, I explained. It's about accountability. She needs to face real consequences for what she did, not just say sorry and move on. Emma nodded, sadly. I keep looking at my beautiful kitchen and feeling sick. Every time I cook in it, I think about your wedding that might not happen because of it. The guilt was destroying Emma, which wasn't my intention. She was an innocent victim in Mom's scheme, just like me. A month after the kitchen dinner disaster, I decided to give Mom one final chance to make things right. I drove to my parents' house and found her in the garden, looking older and more tired than I'd ever seen her. "Sarah," she said when she saw me, "I've been hoping you'd come. I'm here to give you a choice, Mom. You can either face the consequences of what you did, or you can lose your daughter forever." She sat down heavily on her garden bench. "What do you want me to do?" "First, you're going to get a part-time job and pay me back every penny, with interest. I want a payment plan in writing, signed, and witnessed." "Okay." "Second, you're going to write a formal apology letter to me and to Jake, acknowledging what you did and taking full responsibility. No excuses, no justifications. I can do that." "Third, you're going to tell Emma the truth about where the renovation money came from, and you're going to suggest that she and David make a monthly contribution toward paying me back, even though they're not legally obligated." 2. Mom winced but nodded. "And finally, you're going to go to counseling to figure out why you thought it was acceptable to manipulate your daughter this way. I want proof that you're attending sessions. And if I do all of this, then maybe someday I'll be able to forgive you, but our relationship will never be the same. You destroyed my trust, and trust doesn't grow back overnight." Mom was crying openly now. "I know I messed up, Sarah. I know I hurt you terribly. I was just so worried about Emma and David losing their house if they couldn't finish the renovation." "Stop." I held up my hand. "That's exactly the kind of justification I'm talking about. You didn't steal my money to save Emma's house. You stole it because you wanted to be the hero who gave your daughter a beautiful kitchen. You wanted the credit and the gratitude, and you were willing to sacrifice my future to get it." 6 months later, my life looked completely different. Mom had kept her promises. She got a job at a local bakery and had been making monthly payments toward my wedding fund. Emma and David insisted on contributing too, despite my protests. The counseling sessions seemed to be helping Mom understand the magnitude of what she'd done. But the real change was in me. Jake and I decided to elope. After everything that had happened, the idea of a big family wedding felt tainted. Instead, we flew to Hawaii and got married on a beach at sunset, with just a local photographer and 2 strangers as witnesses. It was perfect. We used the money Mom and Emma were paying back to buy our first house, a small cottage with a garden where I could grow my own flowers. Every month when Mom's payment arrived, I put it directly toward our mortgage. The best part? Emma and I were closer than ever. The whole experience had shown her a side of Mom she'd never seen before, and it brought us together as sisters in a new way. She often came to our new house for dinner, and we'd cook together in my simple but adequate kitchen. "Do you ever regret not having the big wedding?" she asked me one evening as we made pasta. "Never," I said honestly. Getting married in Hawaii was magical. And knowing that Jake chose to marry me even after all this family drama proved that he's the right person for me. As for Mom, our relationship was slowly healing, but it would never be the same. She had shown me that her love came with conditions and calculations. She had proven that she was willing to lie and manipulate to get what she wanted. I could forgive her, but I would never again trust her completely, and maybe that was okay. Maybe some relationships are meant to have boundaries. Epilogue. Lessons learned. A year after the kitchen incident, I ran into an old family friend at the grocery store. She asked about Mom and Emma, and I found myself telling the whole story once. Again. "Wow," she said when I finished. "How did you get through all of that without completely losing it?" I thought about her question as I drove home. The truth was, I had lost it for a while. The betrayal had nearly broken me. But it had also taught me something valuable about standing up for myself. For years, I had been the family peacekeeper, the one who always gave in to keep everyone happy. Mom's betrayal forced me to find my backbone and demand respect. It taught me that sometimes the people who claim to love you the most are the ones most willing to take advantage of that love. But it also showed me the importance of real family, the people who stand by you when things get tough. Jake proved his loyalty by supporting my decision to postpone our wedding. Emma proved hers by insisting on helping pay me back even though she was innocent. Even Dad proved his by refusing to make excuses for Mom's behavior. As I pulled into the driveway of our little cottage, I realized that losing my dream wedding had actually given me something better, a clearer understanding of who I could trust and what I was willing to accept in my relationships. Sometimes the worst betrayals lead to the best transformations. And sometimes the family you choose is more important than the family you're born into. Mom never got her perfect family dinner in Emma's beautiful kitchen. Instead, she got a part-time job, a hefty debt, and a daughter who loved her but would never again be naive enough to trust her blindly. And me? I got a husband who stood by me through crisis, a sister who proved her integrity, and the knowledge that I was strong enough to demand the respect I deserved. In the end, that was worth more than any wedding could have been.